Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. On this week's episode, we're covering the Cecil Hotel.
Oh, the Cecil Hotel, full of murder, mayhem, little bit of suicide, and it always ends with a complimentary bag of popcorn.
This place, talking when you get down deep into it, there's 2 murderers that stayed there, and maybe 1 Black Dahlia, maybe.
Yeah, this one had it all, man. This is supernatural stuff, conspiracies, murders, all kinds of crazy stuff. Really good one by Zap. Glad you picked this one out. We hope you guys enjoy it. Speaking of which, if you're enjoying the show, leave that 5-star rating, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the Cecil Hotel.
This is the Old Dirty Basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor,
History.
And copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right.
hey, this is Dave,
Matt,
And Zap.
and welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
where every week we cover a true crime.
Murder,
Or compelling story.
So sit back.
relax.
And comprehend.
Hello. Welcome back to the basement. That beginning gets me every time. I just get nervous.
Sneaks up on you.
Like music just comes in and then Shallow's there. I'm like all scared for a second.
Every time the recording is, of Dave, Matt, and Zap, as soon as I hear Dave, like this is Dave, I'm ready to jump on the mic and say, oh shit, and Zap. or I'm sorry, Dave, Matt, and Zap.
And we're here.
Get anxiety.
It gets you all riled up. Shallow needs to, great job, Shallow. Thank you.
It's compelling.
Like you're lip syncing, you know what I mean? Like yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we got today, guys?
Today, we will be covering the renowned and infamous Cecil Hotel,
Yeah, in Los Angeles, California.
Yes.
City of Angels, and apparently City of Shitty Hotels.
Yeah.
Well, especially the area that the Cecil Hotel.
Cecil.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a very good area there in L.A.
Yeah, talking to Darius, who we had on for previous episode, doing Any Given Sunday, and then the Aaron Hernandez, he grew up in L.A., and I told him about this. We're doing this one coming up, and he was like, I didn't know anything about that.
What?
I said, how could you not living in L.A.? He's like, I'd never heard about that. So he went and watched the documentary, actually last night, because this morning he was telling me about it. He was like, that's crazy. I didn't know anything about it.
It's wild.
Yeah, L.A. is vast, though.
It is big.
Yeah.
And I guess downtown L.A. is not really, like, people don't go down there.
people don't
It's
hang out
not
there.
like,
No.
yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I would just think downtown L.A. would be like the place to
spot.
go. Like,
Right. No, instead, there's just pockets.
Yeah,
Is
the
it?
happening
Okay.
spot if you're like a crackhead
right.
or a prostitute.
Yeah, I didn't really realize that until we got into researching this. But yeah, I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, man. So the Cecil Hotel was built in 1924 at a cost of $1.5 million. That's approximately $22.5 million today. And it opened on December 20th of that same year.
Seems cheap to me, even at today's prices for that size of a building.
Sure.
And you figure $22.5 million in LA. And I was thinking about like some of the real estate prices and stuff out there. Like that seems pretty cheap.
This is back in the 20s.
What was the
Yeah.
roomage and stuff there? Like, what is it, like 16 floors or something like
It's
that?
like 15, I think.
15,
Yeah, I think
16.
15 is the right
15
number.
floors,
Okay.
yeah.
And a shit ton of rooms. But I mean, think about that. That's a prime time for LA. So I mean, the city was building at that time. So
Yeah, true. But even at today's prices, at 22.5,
yeah,
that just seems cheap. Like I don't,
that's definitely not
especially with the materials and stuff. They're not building it with siding and stuff.
Right.
Like it's not like an Amish skyscraper. You know what I mean?
What's
You
that?
ever, like our houses.
These Amish skyscrapers, is that what they're called?
No, I'm just saying you never
Oh.
see a skyscraper made out of siding.
Oh,
and,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Correct. It's all glass
Or
concrete.
concrete.
or
And
I'm
stuff
saying, but
like
yeah,
that.
the Amish, they put up some pretty nice buildings. But I get what you're saying now. It makes sense.
Well,
I didn't know if that was.
I wonder what the highest, like
Amish building.
like a wood structure like that with siding would be. Like, how high can you go?
I mean, like our houses, like how are you saying they're built? Just the stick built.
Like a stick built. That's
home.
what I'm looking for. Stick built.
Yeah.
So I
3
wonder
stories.
I wonder what the highest stick built structure you could build.
3 floors, 4 maybe.
I mean, so the Federalist style was always 3 floors
Mm-hmm.
with maybe a crawl space, maybe not even a crawl space per a basement. I don't know, because you're really starting to get dangerous.
I say 3 at the most.
Mm.
I've seen houses that have like a third, like a loft type area,
Right. You're not
Yeah.
going to get
with
much
high
higher
ceilings.
than that.
Yeah, but that's not even really considered another floor.
It'd just be funny to see a big skyscraper with siding and shutters and stuff. You know what I
Shutters.
mean? Big ass.
Fantastic.
It would be
Air
bad.
conditioning units.
Yeah.
I think Amish Skyscraper is a great name for a band, by the way.
Oh,
Amish Skyscraper.
I like it.
Man, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, the Cecil Hotel, not an Amish skyscraper, was renowned at the time for its opulent marble lobby, stained glass windows, potted palms, and alabaster statues.
Mm.
Why would you put potted palms in L.A. inside of a building?
You're bringing the topiary inside.
The
You're,
outside in.
yeah, man.
Yeah, but I was just saying you see them everywhere.
It's floribunda.
Yeah.
Why do people have houseplants?
I would have brought some like house plants though, not a big ass palm tree.
Yeah.
Put some-
Potted, but it's a potted
I know,
palm.
I get it.
Yeah.
Put some like bamboo in there or something. Lovely.
Some, what are those Daniel Son things?
Bonsai.
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 Trees, yeah.
Have the bonsai little chompies on
Yeah,
it.
that'd be cool. See, that'd be nice.
See? All right, we're working on
Yeah,
something.
we need to design a hotel. The marble flooring, I get.
Mhm.
That's nice. That's opulent.
Yep.
Opulent. Well, this John did well for the first few years. However, it struggled through the era of the Great Depression. Came back fairly well during the post-war 40s.
Mhm.
This is when you see a lot of increased cross-country travel. All these dudes come back from the war. They got money in their pockets. They're starting families. Hey, let's go out for a drive. However, it declined rapidly thereafter as the nearby Skid Row area grew, where the population of homeless and transient people grew to approximately 10,000 within a 4-mile radius.
That'd be a cool band name.
Skid Row.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be cool.
You might be onto something there.
I think so. Yeah, because downtown LA, like, usually get 18 to life.
18 to life.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18 in life, So Skid Row, not the band,
Oh, okay.
but the area is an area. It encompasses approximately 50 city blocks in East Los Angeles.
Damn.
50,
big.
50.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
And I said
Huge.
15 for a minute. I was like, no, he said 50.
Yeah, doors go like this. It is just a place that's full of homeless and broke ass people. Like the median income there, even today, is like 15 grand a year.
Wow.
Like it's
But with a name like Skid Row, how can you go wrong?
Mm.
Just sounds just like a lovely place to be.
It
that
does.
that name. I think actually that's a logging term.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's a good fact.
I'm pretty sure. So the way that it worked was, the loggers would move when they weren't moving logs down the rivers.
Mhm.
If they were up on a hill where the trees were starting, let's say at the top of a mountain, in order for them to get them down to the bottom of the mountain in an expedient fashion, they would line the road or line a flat area with greased logs or greased skids.
Mm.
And so the dudes that are walking these or pushing these logs down would wait at the bottom for the next guys that were going up. So it's essentially you're saying, hey, look, I did my job for the whatever, and I'm waiting for enough dudes to get down here, and then we'll all go back up together. So what Skid Row was basically observing a bunch of lazy loggers that had done their work, waiting to go back up and do it again. So that then gets associated with, okay, well, so I'm sorry. So that log movement was called Skid Row, that whatever, makeshift road they built.
Yes, Skid Road.
Skid Road.
Skid Road is what they were actually called. But then over time, they
It
just
turned
Skid
into
Row.
Skid Row.
Mhm.
It's like how old can be converted to ole.
Yes.
Oh,
Ole
dirty.
apostrophe.
Yeah.
But they would call them Skid Roads. Yeah. Good
That's
point.
pretty. That's a very cool fact.
Yeah.
Forest track over which logs were dragged to get either water to transport from the mill.
Any
People
connection to
walking
like
across.
skids? Then that you load pallets and skids.
Same general
Same
concept.
concept. Okay, that's pretty cool.
I thought you were talking about skids, like the pants I wore to my 8th grade
remember
dances.
those? Yeah, with the
Yeah.
did they have the skids had the
It had the little slippery when wet
slippery
sign on the
one?
back.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
They were very
Chess King
They
had 'em.
did. Chess
were
King
very-
for damn sure had him. Chess
Yeah.
King.
They were very baggy pants.
Yes.
They were much like MC Hammer. Whoever knows MC Hammer.
Parachute pants.
Can't touch it.
So nobody builds a hotel with the intent of it being shitty. Like nobody, on purpose builds a shitty hotel.
Right.
So surely there are countless hotels out there that have gone into decline or have failed over the years.
Congress Inn.
I was just going to say, so we have plenty of them around here. So when we came up, we partied at the Congress Inn, the Clover Leaf Inn.
Clover Leaf was nice. Red Roof had a couple shady spots.
There was some there was some fun there. There was also in Highspire, there was the Hollywood Hotel.
Oh yeah.
Now that place was.
Is that the one behind Wendy's?
Yeah, it's way back behind Wendy's.
Yeah.
I thought that's what we were talking about tonight. I'm confused now.
Close.
Oh, okay.
Now that place was dingy as fuck. Featured, however, prominently featured in
the movie the lottery
Lucky Numbers.
Lucky Numbers.
Yes.
That's correct.
There's also the Starlight in Middletown.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have ever been down there going into Royalton on the right hand side of the road.
I remember the Star skating rink. I don't remember the Starlight.
It's before
Hotel.
you get there. The Starlight is on the right.
And there also was the Oceanic in Ocean City, Maryland.
Oh,
I don't know if you ever
Senior
did
Week.
Senior Week.
the Oceanic.
I think that I stayed there.
At the very end of the boardwalk.
No, then I stayed someplace else.
No, that's where we stayed. We stayed at the
At
Oceanic.
the Oceanic, yeah.
That place was nice.
What you think?
Yeah.
Oh, I stayed at the Islander.
The Islander.
Which was I want to say 20-something street.
Okay, so you were up there.
Yeah, the Ocean. I mean, it wasn't the Ritz, man, but
No.
that wasn't bad for a bunch of teenagers.
I guess I don't know. I just remember it being the initial place we went was not that good. I don't remember what that was called.
you had the fever back then, though.
Yeah, you get the fever. You gotta get out of there.
You gotta get out of there.
It's a couple days.
You gotta get back home.
That's right.
Dear God.
What was it called? The OC?
The Oceanic.
No, we called it some kind of fever.
OC fever.
The
Ocean
OC
City. Yeah, long story.
Okay.
Long story.
Well, so was the story about the Cecil Hotel.
That's right.
So, as this place went, God, I'm sorry, I can't stop. We had some times, man, in some dingy hotels.
Oh yeah.
Like when we were in high school, dude, we did a lot of shit in dingy hotels.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Graduation night was at, I believe it was at the Clover Leaf?
That was at the prom night.
Eisenhower.
Prom night.
Prom night was at the Clover Leaf.
Yeah, and then remember they called the cops and everybody was rushing out the back, but there was just fields in the back, and it was it was raining that evening, and I just remember just carrying people and being muddy and just having a great time, man. Being a kid was fun.
But now you've got me thinking: was it graduation or was it prom?
I think that was graduation.
I think you're right because I know for damn sure I did something different after prom. I was not at the Cloverleaf, but I was at the Cloverleaf for a big fucking banger, and
was
Matt,
graduation.
you're right, it was graduation.
Somebody got their shoes tied together and then they had they passed out. I think that might have been that night.
So weren't we doing that was senior week where when people would pass out, we would put the beer cans and such.
Them.
Not that we're promoting drinking underage.
No,
which is
certainly
horrible.
not. That's not what we do.
Not at all.
But that was always a fun game.
Oh yeah.
Well, the Cecil Hotel ultimately.
Oh, that's where we're at.
Yeah, we're at this dingy hotel.
Back. All right.
So back to L.A., the Cecil Hotel ultimately became a notorious rendezvous spot for drug activity. Was a common ground for prostitutes and adulterous couples engaging in flagrante delicto, if you know me.
So they had, was that from John Wick? Is that what they called it?
Flagrante delicto?
Delicto?
No, that was in Clue.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that's what they proclaimed John Wick when he got kicked out.
No.
Or that was like de facto.
That was de facto kicked out-o.
Yes. Okay.
That's Latin.
But yeah, they
Dorcas Malorcas.
Oh.
Dorcas Malorcas.
Yes.
But no, what Zach was saying, that so you had hourly rates and stuff, I guess, too.
Shit, yeah.
That's
You
awesome.
just do an hour, yeah.
But yeah, the place turned into like a budget, like shit hotel, kind of like what we were just talking about. Basically like a hostel.
Yeah.
Just people can come stay for a couple hours, get some sleep in because they're already yanked up on goofballs.
They also had weekly rates, too.
A lot of places have weekly
At the
rates around
Cecil.
here.
And you could live there monthly, right?
At the Cecil?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What if a lot of people lived there during COVID?
They were closed.
I know
think,
that.
but we'll get to that.
They were, and we will certainly get to that.
Closed.
Now, it isn't the Cecil's decline that makes it unique. Rather, it is the indisputable history of deaths that make it so intriguing. And obviously, we're at the Old Dirty Basement podcast.
Yes.
Now, it all started a little more than 2 years after it opened.
That's 16, I think, is what they have as a count. I don't know if we're getting to that.
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
On January 22nd, 1927, 52-year-old dude named Percy Ormond Cook had been on the outs with his wife and kid. This dude ended up committing suicide in his room with a bullet to the head.
Biddy bye.
After failing to get back into their good graces.
Now, a lot of these here at the old Cecil was a lot of just people. I think the suicide was running rampant there.
Well, that's what I want to ask you after we get through a couple of these about something.
I have concerns too, and I think we're probably all going to be on the same page.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
No suicide note or anything with this guy. Did you see anything like? Was there anything where there was reasoning?
That's part of my question later.
Okay, yes, I think we're on the same track.
Now so for this guy, they found him there with a gun, and it's while I am certainly no scientist, and I am also no forensic scientist, I can tell you that when a gun fires, you're going to have residue powder, especially older bullets back then.
It'll be everywhere.
You're going to have that powder on your hand and shit. So, when you have that to your dome and all of a sudden that falls down, they're going to see a burn or, again, the residue on your hand from where that gun was.
Yes.
A lot of time, too, in the 30s, I think they just went in like, yep, this guy's dead, gunshot wound.
So that's part of the discussion. Yeah, that's part of the thing later. There's a significant number given the total that this seems sketchy.
Yes.
All right, next one. November 19th, 1931. 46-year-old dude named W.K. Norton was found dead in his room after having ingested poison capsules. Now, this was considered a possible suicide. Possible. Also, it's noted that this guy had checked in under a fake name, James Willies.
No.
Fun fact, when we were talking about old dingy hotels, back in my day, when you actually registered, other than checking in or paying in advance on the internet or some shit, I have a fake hotel name too.
Oh.
It's like my James Bond spy name.
Pierce Brosnan.
I used Victor Langostino.
How about that?
That's nice.
I have to remember that one.
Yeah, Victor Langostino.
Like, is this? Oh, we know who you are, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then too, all you needed was like some sort of ID. It could have been anything, and whatever cash you had to pay for the hotel.
I'm saying back in our day, not necessarily back in the 30s here.
And 30s,
yeah, 30s just cash only. They don't care. Just give me what would it be like $3 a night or something like that.
Yeah, at best.
At best.
September 15th, 1932. 25-year-old dude named Benjamin Dodich was found dead in his room after having committed suicide, not unlike Percy, by a bullet to the head.
See, that's a suicide, not a possible.
That is correct. Again, residue on the hand, etc., etc. July 26th, 1924.
34.
July 26th, 1934. 53-year-old Army Medical Corps Sergeant Borden was found dead in his room after slashing his throat with a razor. Now, so with that, this dude did in fact leave several notes, one of which included poor health, like declining health, as a reason for him offing himself.
And no Kevorkian then.
No Kevorkian. Oh, I forgot about that, dude.
That'd be a good story.
That'd be a great troop.
Really
Shit.
story.
Yeah, Dr.
Thank
Kevorkian.
you,
Yeah.
Dude, let's do that, John.
That would be a good one.
I'm all for that.
I don't really know. I just know that he was like assisting people in killing them, right?
We just spoke. Al Pacino plays him in the movie that they did. She did a really good job.
Alpac.
Yeah.
March 20th, 1937. 25-year-old Grace Margot fell from a 9th-story window. Her fall was broken by telephone wires, which were wrapped around her body when she was found. She later died at the hospital, though no one was able to determine whether she jumped out of that window, accidentally fell out, or was pushed out.
Yeah, they just considered her a death.
Yeah.
She was a death.
There was no suicide, no possible suicide, just death.
They just found the body on the ground with telephone wires wrapped around it and the window open.
And nowadays with these hotels, those windows are so much, they're enforced, like reinforced.
You can't open them.
Yeah, you can't even open them. But even the bust room, like, aren't they like so much thicker? You know what I mean? I guess to combat this type stuff.
I don't know, man.
Isn't that how? Oh shit! What the hell's his name? The guitar player.
Eric Clapton.
Yeah, Clapton. His like 3-year-old son or whatever died for falling
out
the
window.
Yeah, it was a
just crawling around.
Or was it off like a patio or was it? Out
I don't know the whole story, but they just said it was very, very suspicious.
He was like 3 years old. Wasn't he like real young?
Yeah.
Is that what that song's about?
Tears in Heaven.
Tears in Heaven.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful song,
there's
too.
no tears in heaven.
Yeah.
No, that's true. No tears, only joys.
Yeah.
Just like heaven.
Joyful mystery.
Oh, wait, that's the Cure.
Indeed.
But get back. Okay.
Get back. January 12th, 1938. 35-year-old Roy Thompson plummeted to his death after he jumped off or out of the building. So he's on top floor. They're not sure. He either jumped off of it or out of it. Like his window was open, he jumped onto the fire escape, right? And then he either jumped off or fell out.
Maybe the guy was like high or folding clothes or just stumbling drunk.
He's on goofballs.
Yeah, and then you just fall out.
I'd be curious to at around this time, like how common that was, like in a high-rise building, like like say in LA being a bigger city, like if that happened, say 8 times in a year at the Cecil, like how many other hotels did that happen at, or was it like, what I'm trying to say? Is it
maybe
like,
just it wasn't just this one? Well, you were saying too, this is not far after the Great Depression, so people are having some like shitty times in their lives.
So we're
that too, yeah.
We are in the 30s at this point, and there's a lot of upset people.
Right.
Yes.
Their life savings are gone. They can't get a job.
I mean, these people couldn't afford guns to kill
Friday.
them. They couldn't afford guns to kill themselves. So,
Right.
like, what other options do I have? They
Yeah.
don't want to cut the other guy had to slash his throat. That's a tough one. I figure if you're just saying I don't know. I don't see the jumping either though. But when you don't have much choice,
But why there? So there's bridges. There's other stuff like these guys had to pay for a hotel
Rent a room, then die,
and then die.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're just going through it. Maybe they thought if they get a room for the evening, maybe get some company in there.
Now, with that, there was no television to keep them, calm. They're just,
You're
I'm going
just
to
in there with your thoughts, man.
Yeah,
Your
I'm going
thoughts
to get
aren't
real
good at the time.
bored listening to FDR on the old radio.
Yeah, it seemed like a depressing time.
Maybe this was just one of the only places in that area that they could get away from their family, because you're not going to do it in front of your family. I don't know much about these people's lives, but if they have a family, you don't want to do it in the house.
Right.
You can't really jump off a little like one story.
No,
Bust your leg or
the
something.
Amish do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Amish skyscraper.
Yeah, I'm telling you. No, we covered that with the Amish.
Yeah.
The Amish killer.
You're right.
You're right.
So they want to get out of the house, like you all were saying. There's no radio. There is radio, but they probably didn't have it in the room.
Yeah.
What was the name of that Amish dude we did? Jacob Skidswell.
Jacob Skidswell. Ed Gingrich.
That's it. Ed Gingrich. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
thought it was Absence.
That guy jumped out of windows, no problem, and just ran.
They're good 3 stories, I think, that they can.
The barn will it'll put you up at 3 stories. If you consider a story to be like ballpark
10 feet,
10 feet, 12 feet, some shit like
Is that
that.
what they call it? Is it 10 now or 9? I think 9 or I'm not sure. What is the story?
You got 9. What you figure like a room like 9-foot ceilings.
9 foot, so
and
10.
Then, 10 to 12, like he said.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess.
You got, so in your commercial buildings, you got to have room for electrical, all the other shit.
Piping shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another like 1.5 feet. Yeah. All right. Very good.
May 16th, 1939. 39-year-old naval officer Erwin Neblett was found dead in his room after having ingested poison. Now, police were unable to determine whether it was accidental on his part, whether he'd committed suicide, or whether he was poisoned by someone else's doing. I guess that's kind of hard to do. Like, you're going to find a dude dead and you're going to find poison in the system. Now it's the question, shit, did somebody else do this? Did he do this? Or was it an accident?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about.
Again, for the time in the late 30s, early 40s, I think that's just stuff to off yourself. It's easy to get. I'll take some rat poison or whatever. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Can't afford a gun.
What I was going to say, Zap, and I don't know, Matt, if you thought about this, and I know Zap said you had thoughts on this, is like at this point, with this many deaths, and some of them are called suicides, but do you think maybe somebody at the hotel was responsible? Like a kill? That's what my thought was, is that
Oh, I see.
is it somebody at the hotel
Maybe like the
offing people?
the busboy or the.
I can
the
see where that
guy.
could be a possibility, but I think that because there is such a gap in time between these. Now, if it were 1 or 2 per year, then maybe. That's the smart person that gets the excitement and still wants it, but knows they're smart enough to space it out enough that it's like, oh, it's just, people just committing suicide. It's depression.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking about. Like, could have there been maybe he's or her or him is killing elsewhere as well, but maybe they're working there like, let me off somebody here tonight. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I don't know what
I'm not going to discount it. I mean, it's certainly possible.
We going back to like that H.H. Holmes type thing.
Yeah, just like a murder. But I guess he's not really torturing them here. He's just throwing them out a window and poisoning them and doing whatever. I just think if something like that could have been I'm just throwing out.
No. But I think with what we discussed, I think at the time people didn't have shit, and I think they were just.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. I didn't even think about that because if 29 was the crash, and then these deaths are happening like pretty much after that, like in succession. You're right. I didn't even think about that aspect of it. There's a lot of people that are pushed to that.
If I'm right, it's just a.
Well, no, it's a good angle.
It's an angle.
People were tired. Like life was fucking hard, man.
Right.
Yeah, not like life's easier today.
It's looking like it's not heading in a good direction.
At least we have some like mindless television on the boob tube to like
cool podcasts to listen to. And
there is that's damn right. So look, Dave, now interestingly enough, so while old naval officer Erwin Neblett had died died by virtue of poison in his room in May of 1939, not but 7 months later or so, January 10th, 1940, 45-year-old Dorothy Seeger committed suicide by ingesting poison. She died 2 days later at the local hospital.
That's a lot of poison.
Poison is, you can die by poison. That's a thing.
But I'm just saying a lot of people
again too, in the 30s and 40s, poison's a lot different than what they have poison today. Because I know kids and shit eat stuff around here today. So the stuff that they had is like rat poison or some sort of poison they have is going to kill you like pretty much by feeling it too much. Because they were able to do that. Today, like a lot of the stuff considered poison is if you're like ingesting half a box of this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They got to dumb it down so much because of the accidental, the kids, the whatever.
Yeah, because you don't want to be the company that said, oh, the kid took one piece of the rat killer and ended up dead on the floor.
Right.
You don't want to be that company. Different times. We keep talking about the 70s as to 2023, man.
Yeah. Right.
4.5 years later or so, 30-something-year-old Dorothy Purcell was in her room with her boyfriend. While he was sleeping, she went into labor and gave birth to a son. She then proceeded to throw the newborn out of the window of her room. Now, at her trial, she stated she was unaware that she'd even been pregnant. She didn't want to awaken her boyfriend while he was sleeping, and she thought the baby was actually stillborn, at the time she gave birth.
She wasn't aware she was pregnant, she was saying?
That's what she claims.
I've heard that before, that people say they don't show, and they, is that... I mean, I've heard that, but
I've seen it on like a television. Like I didn't know I was pregnant. I think they actually had a show like that, like people that were on the pill that they don't have a regular period.
So there's actually a friend of ours, his ex-girlfriend from years and years and years ago. So now I probably didn't even need to mention that. I'll just say that there is a woman I know who was on the pill with absolute regularity, and she went to the doctors for whatever reason. It might have been her annual checkup or something. Come to find she was 6 months pregnant.
I had no idea.
She had no clue.
1944, there's
no clue.
1944, there's no regular checkups at the gyno.
No.
Probably.
No.
You usually go to that would be your aunt's house.
But so that was 6 months, which still you would be showing most people by then.
Absolutely.
But by 9 months, like if she, I don't know, maybe she was even not 9 months, but I've heard of that, but I didn't know that you could actually not show at all and have no, I guess, I mean, it's possible, I guess.
No, I mean, if you're eating pretty good at the time, like some women might just feel like they're gaining a little weight.
Heavy.
Maybe it's just a hearty appetite. Maybe winter's coming.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Winter's coming.
Yeah.
Well, so now while this broad was initially charged with the murder of the boy, she was. And after you're actually right. So after a few months of trial and 3 psychiatrists testifying that she was mentally confused at the time of the incident, she was actually found not guilty by virtue of insanity.
I agree with that. I mean, nobody can take a brand new baby and throw it out a window, man.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not there. That's kind of like a crime of passion where things are looked at differently. Like I think she had it. She didn't know what the hell was going on. Open window.
Yeah.
You're at but is that part of the Cecil? Is that part of the spirit around it? Is that part of why the place is so weird?
Yeah.
And
it's
wicked?
Weird.
There's definitely something going on.
Something wicked this way, Cecil's.
Yeah. November 25th, 1947.
That's my favorite.
All right, I'm waiting for this.
3 years later. 35-year-old Robert Smith committed suicide by jumping out of a 7th floor window.
That's so sad.
Just like heaven.
So
Just
sad.
like
I
that.
sing a song about how sad I was and I'm going to kill myself.
Looks like he found the cure, huh?
Nice.
Yeah.
I love what
There's
you
a
did
time-
there.
Yeah.
Dave and I were on this whole big Robert Smith kick
Oh yeah.
in high school for about 2 years.
What
my
what
God.
did you think about the cure? Like
I liked one or two of the tracks.
that's about it.
I thought that Robert Smith was a weird looking dude.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
different.
super weird.
Like just a whatever. Like,
he's
I get it. You're making it look, and anyone could say like Bowie was a weird looking dude. Like he's doing it on Marilyn Manson was a weird looking dude.
Yeah,
They're
but
doing it
those
on
guys,
purpose.
Yeah, they're not going home and the
Correct.
get ups.
Right.
Like Robert Smith, you see him on the street, you wouldn't even know who he is probably.
Right.
Without the
My
makeup.
lips say, don't say, oh, so good. No.
Right.
That's how he talks. Yeah.
It sounds just like him.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know.
is
I
good.
never met the guy.
Just on interviews.
Yeah, just on interviews.
Robert
Actually,
Smith,
the Cure is going to be. They're coming to Philly, I think, in a couple.
they?
They're
Or a month.
playing at the
Maryland.
correct. Merriweather.
Merriweather
Merriweather
Post
Pavilion.
Pavilion. Mhm.
Mm.
It's a good place to see a show.
Yep. October 22nd, 1954. So this is like 7 years later. 55-year-old Helene Gurney went the same route as Robert Smith.
Gurney.
Yeah, how about that? She went the same route as he did 7 years earlier.
What a
and
gurney? You don't know what a gurney is? So he's taken out on a gurney.
Hospital gurney.
Okay, I got you. I missed that.
When you're sad, you say these things.
She committed suicide by jumping out of a 7th floor window, just like old Bob Smith. Now, this poor broad landed on top of the hotel sign. This
It's like a cartoon or something.
yeah, this is like the marquee
Bugs
that's right
Bunny
above the
type
door.
shit.
Yeah.
I think like Deadpool 2. So like when they're all jumping out of the plane and the one guy lands on the fucking billboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, this is when we were talking about earlier too, with the 7 years in between. Like, and plus, I mean, how old the person must have been at the time. But
Yeah.
yeah,
by
I
then-
don't think it's. I don't think it's. I just think you're in a bad section in L.A. and a lot of shit's happening.
Yeah, I'd say.
February 11th, 1962. So this is like almost 8 years later. 50-year-old Julia Moore committed suicide by jumping out of her 8th floor room's window.
Isn't she an actress?
Yeah, Julianne Moore. She was in Hannibal.
Yeah, she's pretty good at that.
It's a lot of this is crazy. All these people jumping out of windows.
Jumping out of windows.
Yeah.
Or are they?
It's
Or
easy.
are they? Maybe.
It's easy.
October 12th, 1962. Now, this is the one that gets me the most. So you got 27-year-old Pauline Otten.
Mm-hmm.
She had gotten into an argument with her husband. And while the argument had been in person in her room, the two had actually been estranged at the time. Like they had,
They're not
separated.
together,
No,
yeah.
they separated, whatever, but still legally married. So now, after the argument, it is alleged that she committed suicide by jumping from the window from her 9th floor room. Now, the kicker to this one, she landed on some poor pedestrian, George Giannini.
Jeez.
She killed herself and him instantly. Now, I am curious, though. Did she jump out or did her husband push her out of that window?
Yeah, was he was there then? I'm
Yeah,
assuming,
because so her husband later claimed that, I had left the room. I went down to the hotel bar to get a couple of drinks or something, whatever.
Again, today's world, you'd figure that out in 2 seconds on the tape. But 1962
Yeah, it took some sleuthing.
argument. But I think a lot of shit too in that area. They were probably like, I don't.
I wonder how
cops are lazy sometimes when
She
it comes.
landed
to
on a
the
poor
60s.
dude. Yeah, correct.
Because they go in there and be like, oh, she jumped out the window, man. Let's go get a snack.
That's right.
I wonder how this was reported in the news at the time, just as suicides, or did they connect all these dots and say, "Hey, wait a minute"? Like, was it ever brought up in the local paper? Like, what's up with the Cecil Hotel? X amount of deaths here in so many years. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe.
I
I
just-
mean, this stuff was spread out.
right?
But if we would really dig and research, just going into our town that we live in,
Mm-hmm.
into the city, you'd probably find a place that has 5, 6, 7 deaths, or like where you have a lot of homeless, a lot of. Not saying that that's the main cause, but
Right. All these people jumping out of windows and stuff. It just seems like it would be like for a news, like if they connected the dots, like, oh, wait a minute, this is happening. I don't know.
just in,
That's why I was wondering how often this happened back then. If it's
Well,
like a normal occurrence.
But again,
or-
that's the aura around the building that's showing it. Is it like what we're talking about now? Is it that, or was there something more menacing? Is there something in there that maybe drives people crazy. And I think we're getting to some of that story coming up.
I mean, there's all kinds of crazies everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Every little story is unique. It really is. I mean, we're rifling through these pretty quickly, but each one of these people, I'm sure, has some, like, a significant story behind it as to the who, what, when, where, and why.
Right.
I was thinking about that too when I was looking at. I mean, we all researched it looked like pretty much the same area of this, not just going by the one major, the thing on Netflix. But as you look, like Zach was saying, everybody has a story, and there's probably a lot more that when you look at it, they probably put them as suicides because of the background into the story.
Yeah, what do I want to do? I'm a cop. What do I want to do? Work more?
Yeah.
That's what I mean is that is not in any way, shape, or form to say cops are lazy. In fact, big shout out to Officer Vince.
Oh, our boy.
Quite the contrary. These are, our boys in blue are busy enough already.
Yeah.
So if I find some bum or some piece of shit that's laying on the ground, it looks like they fell out of a window.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I hear you.
I mean, that's just me being lazy, but whatever.
Not much like Pigeon Goldie Osgood.
Ooh, who in June 4th, 1964, 65-year-old was found dead in her room. Old Goldie Osgood. Mayor Goldie Wilson.
Yeah, right.
She was found dead in her room after having been raped, stabbed, and beaten. Her murder to this day remains unsolved.
Now, see, there you have something. They could tell.
Yeah.
You're not just jumping out a window. There's something
she's
right
sitting
there.
there with her lady parts hanging open, and she's stabbed and beaten and also dead. Now, they did find a guy walking around nearby who was found wearing bloodstained clothes, but he was cleared of the crime like almost immediately. It's like this isn't her blood, or like this guy's a butcher.
That's what I was going to ask. Like,
He's coming out of his job.
Yeah, he just got off of work at the meat factory.
That was my question. Is like, what walking around with blood stain? Like, what's your excuse? And that's the one I came up with. The butcher.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of.
He's a working man,
or like an ER doctor.
There's
you know
that.
I mean, if you got your
Would you change those?
Are those your OR scrubs?
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I guess these are my OR scrubs. Oh, are they? You know, that's from
Rushmore.
Rushmore. Yeah.
Never saw it.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
really.
That's in your wheelhouse.
Okay.
And Bill Murray and Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Bill Murray is excellent in it. Like,
I'll give it a shot.
Bill Murray's great.
He likes his girl, and then the boy she's dating is an OR doctor. And the guy goes, "Nice outfit." He's like, "These are my OR scrubs." He goes, "Oh, are they?" Just the way he says it.
Great play on words.
Yeah,
it was good. It even stood out. I mean, it stood out to you. We never really talked about that, but that's one of those things in a movie that this guy's like, he starts like all these clubs at school. He's a very big like overachiever.
Sure.
And he gets a scholarship to one of these like prestigious schools in the area. But since he's like a poor kid, like he has to be on the straight and narrow, and he ends up getting with some kids. And it's a good movie. Rushmore. You guys should watch it.
Check it out. Yeah, but I couldn't think of another job or another excuse for wearing bloodstained clothes.
Right. Why you would have so much blood on you.
Yeah.
11 and a half years later, December 20th, 1975, 23-year-old Allison Lowell committed suicide by jumping from her 12th floor window onto the Cecil's second floor roof. So that's 10 stories.
10 stories.
She gone.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Now we go way back or way forward in time here, almost 20 years, 17 years ish. On September 1st, 1992, a mid-20s unidentified black guy had either jumped, fallen from, or had been pushed out of a 15th floor window of the hotel and was found in the alley behind it. He remains unidentified to this day.
Well, didn't he check in? You wonder? Or he just used a fake ID?
Or you just walked in.
Maybe that's true.
That's a transient. Somebody just wanted a place to sleep. Got in there. I'm sure at the Cecil they weren't like, "Who's this guy coming through?"
Like you can walk into a hotel and just walk around the hotel. You absolutely can.
I did that for a while for a free breakfast.
Well, probably back then you can.
At night they put the locks where you got to swipe. But during the day, dude, you could just walk in.
Get around.
Yeah, that's what I say. If you want something to eat, you can go to the Hilton sometimes in the morning, like on a day off. Take your family, walk in, get a Continental.
Just put a towel around you.
Absolutely.
Not even a towel. Just walk in.
Oh, okay.
Just wear like a golf shirt. I do it with my kids all the time. That's where we go Saturday mornings.
Nice.
You're not swiping Continentals though.
Why not?
Oh, okay. Hey, look, I say good job, Dad. That's right.
The kids enjoy it. They think they're going somewhere for you say it's like a Denny's, man.
It's like a staycation.
That's cool.
You guys can try that, honestly. If you don't believe me out there, please do.
Take me along next time.
Yeah, just walk into the Hilton.
Dude, I want to go.
Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. They'll come. You sit at your table, go get some coffee. Usually have some nice fruit. They have the yogurts,
Continental.
bagels. It's a good time.
This is my stomach. Sorry. Continental breakfast.
You're getting all randy over there.
Making me hungry.
Bagel.
So this guy died on, or was found dead on September 1st, 1992. Fun fact. The LA riots resulting from Rodney the King occurred over a 6-day period in April and May of that year.
April 29th, 92. There was a riot on the streets. Tell me, where were you? You were sitting home watching your TV. I was out participating in some anarchy.
Who was that?
You don't know that?
I don't know that.
That's Sublime.
I
Yeah.
was never a big Sublime fan.
Oh, I love Sublime. Yeah.
So far, that is a total of 16 deaths. And that's, 17 if you include poor George Giannini. The pedestrian.
Yeah, but he was a pedestrian. That doesn't count. Or maybe it counts in the whole death toll.
The whole, yeah.
Yeah, we should throw that in there.
So we got 16 from the hotel, 17 if you include old George. Now that's 10 confirmed suicides, 2 murders, which includes the baby and the 65-year-old rape victim, Goldie, and 4 unknown, which they weren't sure if it was suicide, accidental, or murder. And then again, the 17th would be old George Giannini.
Wow.
Poor George.
Poor George.
So in an effort to remove the moniker of death in its sordid history, a portion of the hotel rebranded itself as Stay on Main in 2011. Oddly, though, the website remained thececilhotel.com. Like, come on, man.
But that was the big thing with people traveling, that if you watch the Netflix, people were like, oh, I want to stay at the Cecil. I want to stay at the Cecil.
They should have called it the Stain on Main.
The stain.
If they left all they're like, if you look here on the sidewalk,
that's good.
That's the stain there and the
man,
stain there. The stain on Main.
Yeah.
There's somebody listening there right now like, that's not bad.
I'm going to do that. They might.
They go for a band name also.
Dude, people dig that shit, man. People like ghost hunters or whatever the hell, or people like going to, where murders happen. Like, people dig that shit.
Yeah, but doing the research on this and looking through that, the Netflix, and just the other day I was looking at the area and it's even worse than what it was. Like, they're trying to bring it back, but still that area is not good.
Skid Row area.
Yeah, it's not good.
I want to jump ahead by one here really quickly. On June 13th, 2015, the body of a 28-year-old dude was found outside the hotel. Now, some speculate that he jumped out of the window, but the county coroner could not confirm as much. And to this day, the man's identity remains unknown, as does the true cause of his death.
See, that's again as a traveler. I think somebody might not have like any
traveler,
kind of
homeless dude.
Yeah, no information on them, no family. They take, the blood test. They're like, I don't know, it could be anybody.
Could be.
Fingerprints.
I concur.
Not in the system, which we all should be in the system by now.
You would think.
Yeah.
So we go when we get like our inoculations.
Yeah.
If you've ever gotten a paycheck, you're in the system.
Yeah.
And now one of, if not the oddest instances of death at the Cecil Hotel, we have Miss Elisa Lam. This is a Chinese-Canadian tourist known in Chinese as Lam Ho Yi.
Lamb hoagie? Those are delicious.
Lamb hoagie.
Lamb hoagie.
I had it at the Bressler picnic. They actually have a great lamb hoagie.
Absolutely. Little dry.
Yeah, it depends. They put a little bit of that juice on it.
If you're lucky. Now, this poor woman had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression in her formative years. Now, though having been prescribed several medications for her mental health issues, she had a history of not taking her meds. In instances where she didn't take them, she suffered hallucinations that would cause her to hide under the bed for refuge. In fact, she was actually hospitalized at least once for one of these episodes.
Now, see, when you say that, and when we read about that, I'm sure you looked in all the drugs that she was on, this like a cornucopia cocktail of numerous drugs. From what you see when you watch that, does it seem like that odd or that strange?
What seem that odd?
How she was the way. I mean, we're going to talk about it, but the way that she was acting, it does. When you read this and then see
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
it's not like mind blowing. You can tell that she had issues. A lot of issues, a lot of problems.
Let's get to that issue quickly then, so we can
issue it.
Talk on that.
Yeah.
So this woman goes on a trip to California. She arrived in Los Angeles on January 26th, 2013. She checked into the Cecil Hotel on January 28th. She remained in contact with her family in Canada every day during her travels. She was last seen alive on January 31st, 2013. She was reported missing by her parents on February 1st, 2013. Again, they stayed in constant contact.
Mm-hmm.
Now, almost 2 weeks later, on February 13th, the LAPD released a video of the last known sighting of her. This was a surveillance video from one of the Cecil Hotel's elevators, approximately 2.5 minutes long. She appears to press every button on the elevator panel, peers into the hallway, then leaves the elevator at one point when its doors remain open. The doors fail to close after she returns, and she leaves. Now, to Matt's point, there have been a number of speculations relative to her actions on this elevator footage. I mean, there's the possibility of wanting to escape from someone who's pursuing her. There's a possibility that she might be under the influence of a non-prescription drug.
You think? Yeah.
Although toxicology reports that nothing illicit or recreational was in her body.
That was very late.
You're saying it might have faded out?
Don't you think?
I don't know.
Especially from where they found her. See, a lot of when I was, the way that she was acting, it almost looked like kind of some of the movies you see, like some of the scary movies, especially a lot of like the ones that are like Asian films,
like the Ring.
Yes, yes. It kind of looked like she was
that shaky shit. That freaks me out, man.
Yeah.
But then like
unnatural movements.
You almost her unnatural movements, like the way that she was acting, almost looked like she was doing it on purpose, somewhat. Like from what because I watched it a few times, and it almost looked like she was acting out something from a movie. But then there's another point that I think you wanted to talk about, like there's some sort of game that they play,
yes,
and also what you talked about, like either she was on a prescription, non-prescription, she mixed something, maybe she's supposed to meet somebody out, maybe she took too many and was going to go out that night and figured I'm not having a good time. I don't know.
I mean, so there's
speculation.
There is certainly the possibility of her having a psychotic episode resulting from her bipolar disorder. In fact, police have actually ruled that she'd suffered a paranoid hallucination.
And you can see some of that too, her stepping out into the hallway,
that's right,
moving her arms, looking at things.
Now, conspiracy theorists have argued that the video had been tampered with before being made public. There was a blurred timestamp. There's allegations of parts of the video being slowed down, and nearly a minute of footage had been removed. Now, this was possibly done by the police in order to protect the identity of somebody who may or may not have been in the elevator, who wasn't related to the disappearance at all.
That's cool because I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
that's a cool thing to look at because they didn't mention that.
Yeah, there's 3.5 minutes. Let's say there's 3.5 minutes that she's in the elevator. One of those minutes includes somebody else who has not. They just got on.
They just happen to be riding the elevator,
just moving around, and then they got off.
It's not in there.
That's right. They removed that basically just to protect the innocent. Like, no, focus on this Chinese Canadian girl.
Yeah.
See, does this even seem real now, though? Like, Netflix has a special on it. They already had the backing of the Cecil. Could this have been like a plant, like the way that it was filmed? Like I said, it's kind of like the Ring type movie or something like that. Like what was that movie?
Blair Witch thing?
Blair Witch. Is this like a whole Blair Witch? Just
I don't know.
showing the Cecil?
No, I'd heard of this. The one dude that works at one of my clients was talking about this a while ago. What is the TikTok thing that you were just talking about?
Are you talking about the elevator game?
Yes.
Yeah.
The elevator
right,
game.
So, hold on. I got stuff on that.
Do you even have like the key code? Do you have the order? See, yeah, okay.
All right, so
we're getting deep now.
Yeah. So there's
like the minds of Minolta.
Look, I don't know shit about this. Like I heard it in an just random thing, and now you mentioning it, it's now just coming back. So yeah, please.
We brought it up, I think, in another podcast. It came up. We were talking about maybe, I'm not sure, but there's an elevator game that supposedly was started in Korea. They think that's where it originated. And if you go online and look up Korean elevator game,
it'll show you how to play. There's a whole rule, like a whole bunch of rules to this to do it properly.
So the thing is you enter on the first floor, and it has to be a building that I believe is over 11 stories to play the game correctly. And you get in, and you have to press floor buttons in a specific order. It's like 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, and then 5. And you go to all those floors, but you don't get off. And I think when you get off on the 5th floor, there's a possibility there'll be a mysterious female there. and
yeah, you can't look at her. You can't make eye contact. You can't talk to her. You have to look like straight down, or it'll F the whole game up.
And then you're done.
Yeah.
If you do all that right, the door will close. You'll go back up to, I think it's the 10th floor. And when the door opens, you're in an alternate reality, like a whole nother dimension, I should say. And another dimension. Yeah, another dimension. Yeah, exactly.
This is like some Matrix shit.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's in Korea. It has to be real.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
But then if you you can go in there and like walk around, you're not in an alternative, like he said, dimension, universe, whatever.
Is it the whole universe or just that floor is the alternate universe? When
you walk out, you're basically, I guess you can
like on a flip side type thing.
I got it.
People are saying upside down. Think of like Stranger Things.
There's people that have done it, saying that when they got there, it seemed odd, but they were walking around like you've seen rooms that were like open and empty, and like maybe they're just like an empty. Maybe whoever did it was actually in a part that they were just like working on.
Yeah,
they said it was like a whole nother dimension type thing. I don't know.
How do you get back to the regular world?
You got to go back in and then basically go in reverse.
Yeah, the key code to the reverse.
And then when you come back out on the first floor.
Yeah, you have to walk out without anybody talking to you or anything too. You just walk straight out. Or if you do go back in, you can get stuck there forever.
This is interesting. Yeah. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
This is real.
They're actually...
well, of course, Zap. It's real.
It's real.
There's actually talk of them making a movie. There was like a famous director, I think, or writer-director that is working on a script on this. Or it might be an American Horror Story season or something like that coming up. Along those lines, a movie or a series.
Yeah, the game with that Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the game type thing. It's like a whole thing.
So there's people that say that she was playing this elevator game.
Why don't we try that? Okay. On the Old Dirty Basement, we should podcast while we do the elevator game.
I would not do this.
We
just because on the off chance that it's for real.
No, we got to try this. Come on. I want to try it. We're going to go to the Hilton tomorrow for breakfast.
Yep.
Get some Continental.
Yep.
Some free breakfast.
And we're going to say, hey, we're doing the Old Dirty Basement podcast.
Can we do anything but, can we do it not tomorrow? Only because it's Good Friday.
It is Good Friday. Yeah, we can't be delving in the underworld on Good Friday.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Let's let Jesus come back from the dead on Easter.
He is alive, and then we can do our thing.
That's a good idea.
After that, it opens up a little bit for holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Do Sunday.
Yeah, I'm sorry I brought a little 8-pound, 10-ounce baby Jesus.
His golden flowing robes.
All swaddled up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
All right. Man,
but yeah, that's one of the many conspiracy theories surrounding this story.
But we need to try it. That way we bust the theory.
Well, I don't want to go to the parallel universe without you two, man. I'm going to be scared out of my fucking mind.
Like walking through, like Tron goes by, Sonic the Hedgehog's like doing like flips and
hanging out.
Sounds kind of fun though.
It might be.
Well, whatever. Needless to say, after the conspiracy theories, et cetera, and elevator bingo, whatever that is.
Elevator bingo.
While the search was underway for her, complaints about low water pressure and an unusual taste in the water began to come from hotel guests.
No, sir.
On the morning of February 19th, 2013, Santiago Lopez, a hotel maintenance worker, found Lamb's naked body lying face up in one of 4 1,000-gallon tanks located on the roof. Her clothes were found floating in that tank next to her. Now, these are the tanks. They call them cisterns, and that's fine. That's an absolutely right word. It's like the water tower. Mm-hmm. These are tanks used to collect and provide water to not just guest rooms, but also like there's a nearby kitchen and a coffee shop that was supplied by this as well.
Do they collect? Is it like rainwater?
Yeah.
Collecting? Okay.
Yeah. So there are also places that this is called gray water. Mm-hmm. So this is why this is used for showers, and anything where that water is going to be boiled. So you know that you're cooking out the funky shit.
Right.
So it's interesting. I had one of my former employees, when they had built their building, there was a significant green initiative, like they want to build whatever, environmentally conscious. And in doing so, they had employed this gray water method, and they had these collection tubs on top of the building that's collecting this shit, and this was water just for toilets and washing hands, versus they had plumbing from underneath that's going to go to spigots, anything that could potentially go into a cup.
Oh wow!
So what I find genuinely ironic about this is while they went out of their way to do this, somebody hadn't figured out appropriately how to keep birds out of the tank So pigeons were getting in there, flying around and shitting in the water tanks. And so when you're flushing the toilet, it's like basically a pigeon had done an upper decker.
Shit into the thing.
Shit into the thing.
In all of the toilets in this whole building, every floor. So it's you're flushing the toilet and you're looking down at all. You just see this poop floating out of the filling water.
Right.
The fill tank.
And then there's shit in there.
Yeah.
It's like never ending.
Upper decker.
So I like, again, this isn't the Ritz-Carlton.
No, it is not.
They don't have, what was the guy's name?
Putting on the Ritz. Taco.
No, the guy that went.
Taco.
That's good. No, the guy that went to check on, or whoever said about the water.
Oh, Santiago. Well, so hotel guests were complaining.
Yes.
After enough complaints, Santiago Lopez,
no
relation to Mario,
was not checking
Mario
upstairs very often. He wasn't going up, checking to make sure there were no pigeons.
No, they leave the tanks open.
Yeah.
And so with that, the LA coroner's office gave the cause of death as an accidental drowning. With bipolar disorder as being a significant factor and or cause. Now, how did she get into the tank? Likely the fire escape. When you look at where the tanks are laid out, the fire escape is right there.
Right there, yeah.
And P.S., when Santiago Lopez was up there, lids two out of the 4 cisterns, these water collection devices, were found just wide open.
Wow.
See, that's when I did watch this story, I kind of thought something was suspicious or something didn't quite make sense because you had all these other murders that they talked about. You get to the point with this Mislam or Lamb and
Mislam.
That's
the nation of
the nation of Mislam.
Yeah.
So the nation.
Yeah.
So I'm laughing at that. So I can't say Mislam anymore.
You're doing fine.
Mislam.
Lamb, it's late.
Mrs. Lamb.
You're doing fine.
Eliza. So I looked at this with Eliza Lamb, and she's falling into this tank, and the story just kind of didn't make sense from there. Like, okay, she has this crazy
episode.
I'm still thinking it's just like the one that we talked about. I can't think of that. We just said it earlier.
The cops are chalking this up to a Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
The cops are chalking this up to just a paranoid hallucination. Maybe she thought, like, again, she might be, if she's not on these meds or something, like she's fucked up. Mm-hmm. So maybe she thinks somebody's chasing her. Hey, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to run upstairs. I'm going to go run upstairs and hide in this tank and hide from the guy. Or, shit, maybe I feel real hot. I mean, it is L.A. Like, it's hot out here, and I've somehow made my way to the roof. Ooh, there's a pool over there.
Then again, yeah, the girl was probably so jacked up, like you can tell on the thing, that she probably was like, you do weird shit.
Look,
when
man,
you're
we've all gotten drunk before, right? So you know how all of a sudden things you would never fucking do all of a sudden seem to be, oh, okay,
great idea.
Great
and
ideas
that's what they're
when
saying. She got in this tank, which you were saying she was probably hot, all fucked up, sweating. She's like, I'll get in there and cool off. She couldn't get out. You're sitting there, you start panicking.
Yeah.
You're already fucked up, and she drowned.
Yeah. After this one, in total, we are now up to 18 deaths. That's 19 if you include poor George Giannini, the pedestrian from 1962. So that's 10 confirmed suicides, 2 confirmed murders, 5 unknown, which includes this Elisa Lamb, Ms. Lamb. Mm-hmm. The one black guy found dead outside, whose circumstances still can't officially be linked to the hotel. And, of course, George Giannini, who got landed on by that bitch that jumped out of the window and landed on him.
Sounds like a good Italian restaurant, like on 3rd Street.
Giannini's.
Like Giannini's.
We go to Gianni.
It's we make it the best of pasta.
Yeah.
In 2014, the hotel was sold for $30 million American dollars. The hotel closed for renovations in 2017. In February 2017, the LA City Council voted to deem the Cecil a historic cultural monument, due mostly to its architecture. On December 13th, 2021, after some COVID delays, the Cecil Hotel reopened as an affordable housing complex, offering affordable living accommodations for 600-plus low-income residents.
And I haven't heard anything about.
No, it basically became Section 8 housing.
That's it.
That's it.
So you can't stay there anymore, like
No.
as a guest. Okay. Because I looked up on Yelp just to see like some reviews and stuff on it, and
they were all dated prior to December 13th, 2021.
Yeah, these would have been back in the day.
Yeah,
but it's a 2.5 overall on Yelp.
Out of the 5?
For the stay on Main. So
Staying on Main.
Staying on Main, yeah. So just to give you a couple here. There was one that said, please stay away. This hotel was horrible. The room smelled like old farts. Dude did not have an air circulation system. Yeah. There's a positive one, which is rare when I was reading the reviews. But I
was
figured,
it for the continental breakfast?
No, it wasn't. But it was for during their second stay. They noticed they had an additional benefit to guests of free popcorn. It was provided in the afternoon.
Wow,
so that was a bonus.
That's nice.
That's a nice touch.
They give you like a bag of Pop Secret and one microwave to use, like in the common area
per floor.
Yeah. But most of them were negative. But I think a lot of them were just people trying to be funny. They were writing like off the wall shit. You know what I mean?
Besides all these direct deaths, however many we counted through this story, there were 2 serial killers that actually stayed at the Cecil. Do you guys know who they were?
I know one.
What is the one?
We did a podcast on the one.
Yes, we did.
The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez.
That's right.
He lived there for a few weeks in the 80s.
Yes. Yep. So it's a kind of like a good place this place is.
Yeah.
The other one was Jack Unterweger. He was Austrian.
Oh.
He came over to L.A. He traveled a lot. Austria, Czechoslovakia. I think he had murder counts. And he came here and he stayed at the Cecil for a while.
Wow.
No cops looking for murder.
Nope. I think Ramirez gave it a 5-star on Yelp. He said he loved all the murder and death. He said it was like very
and the popcorn.
Ramirez.
And the popcorn and free popcorn.
Very, very homey.
So
that 4-part. So for anyone who's interested, that 4-part John that's on Netflix is called Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. That's that's the one. This is the Netflix thing that actually explores the whole thought and process and everything behind that Lamb's death, Ms. Lamb's death.
Lamb.
Yeah, that's it. Now I have not seen it.
I've watched 3 of the 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's the first episode is kind of that early history, and then I think by the second, third one they get into this stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a.
Do you guys know who Elizabeth Short was?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Did you read that? No,
go ahead. You have it there. I don't have it here.
You were getting into it. Go ahead.
No, I have a different thing.
Okay. Elizabeth Short, where the Black Dahlia is actually who she was.
Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah. The story behind that. She was found dead nearby and became associated with staying sometimes at the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah.
That's alleged.
Alleged, yeah.
It is alleged.
But didn't they also
it's
allege?
fun to say.
I think they were at this point trying to, and that was at a time when the deaths were a lot more frequent over a shorter amount of time. I think they were.
So that was in the 30s too.
Yeah, I think they were just grasping for. Oh, let's make this even more popular and creepy.
Yeah, add to it. But they also said, I think, and I read something similar to that she was at the bar. She seen at the bar quite a few times. I guess
that could be like alleged too with the suicides. Like maybe like these rooms were like uneven, or they kept on tripping on like a part of the carpet.
Could be.
Like going to open them when the carpet has like a thing in it. And they're
It's funny you said that.
Where's Mr. Lopez on that one?
I don't know.
Back to
should have been in.
There was something about that actually in one of these reviews, and somebody made a comment about. Oh yeah, here it is. Got off scary looking elevator to a strong odor of raid. Entered room and almost fell out the window. Super small room. So
I'm saying,
it makes you wonder.
Or maybe like back then too, a lot of people drank very strong drinks. They're mixing a drink,
bathtub gin.
Yeah. And then and they go to take a sip. They hit the bump in the carpet. So and a lot of things could happen.
So there's a lot of conspiracy theories in here. But did you guys hear the one about the Lamb-Elisa test? You know what that is? So the Lamb-Elisa test is actually the name of a test for tuberculosis, and there was an outbreak of tuberculosis in that area.
Wait, it's called Lamb-Elisa?
It's spelled the same way.
Not Elisa Lamb.
Correct. It is
backwards.
Her two names backwards. And again, that Elisa Lamb, that's her Americanized version of her Chinese name.
Right. So
her Chinese name is Lam Hoagie.
Lam Hoagie.
Lam Hoagie.
Delicious.
Lam Hoagie is her Chinese name.
So the Lamb-Elisa test stands for lipoarabinomannan enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay.
Isn't that what the Kardashians do to their butts?
I think that's what they do.
All day.
Surgery.
All day.
So there was a TB outbreak in Skid Row area during all of this. She went to the University of Columbia, who's known for their TB research there at that university. There's people that say, conspiracy theorists, that university infected her with tuberculosis and we're trying to infect.
Like a super spreader?
Basically, these people came up with this like
COVID.
Yeah.
It came from the Wuhan lab.
Not the Wu-Tang.
Not the Wu-Tang.
The Wuhan.
The Wuhan.
Wuhan.
Yeah. But they're trying to make those connections. It is kind of weird that that's her name and that's the name of the test for TB.
Crazy.
But they did say during an autopsy that they tested her for TB and they found she didn't test positive for it, anything like that. So who knows?
TB is temporary. Wuhan is forever.
Wuhan is forever. Yeah. You're right. So is that what turned you on to this story?
That one dude that works at one of my clients, I was just outside having a cigarette the one day, and he listens to our podcast.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you, young man.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Nice,
Thank
Nick.
you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Yep.
And Nick would mention, hey, man, like, I don't know if you know about this, but there's this thing out there called the Cecil Hotel, dude. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Mm-hmm. So I sat on it for a bit, did some digging, looked into it. Sure enough, I thought it was worth a shot. It's
interesting, compelling,
a compelling story.
It definitely is. Yeah, I mean,
I like being the compelling now. Like instead of like all the some of the deaths we get into sometimes, which I enjoy that. I mean, not in a weird way, but I do enjoy talking about that. But sometimes the compelling ones are
I
fun.
feel compelled.
Yeah,
this had a little bit of everything: supernatural, maybe a little bit of the murder,
a little bit of
just all kinds of stuff. It tied into everything, conspiracies. I kind of dig it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Definitely dig it. But yeah, that's what we like. We like when you guys reach out and let us know what you want to hear, what you guys want us to cover, and it kind of helps us come up with good content. So continue to do that. I don't know what we'll be back with next week. I know I have a guest lined up, a local PA crime, a girl that I met that was actually involved. I should say involved in the murder, but was close enough to
on release.
On release, yeah.
We have her in the base. There's like three armed guards with her,
right? But close
like
enough.
Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, we're at the wheel her down here now, but close enough to the crime that she was portrayed in a documentary and everything else. That'd be cool to talk to her.
It's awesome. So looking forward to that.
Only on the basement.
Yep. So don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement and on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace.